Good meowing guys, gals, and bees, and YouTube catters. Fresh off the heels of one of the most anticipated waves of support in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, as well as the upcoming support coming in the TCG by the time this video comes out, I decided to try out and test a brand new Dark Magician deck while doing my monthly ranked climb in Master Duel. And I've actually been enjoying it a lot. It's actually been quite an interesting deck, quite a fun deck, and quite a different change of pace from the usual like White Forest combos. And more so a deck that kind of can play lower to the ground and more mid-rangey, but still set up a vast multitude of Omni Negates with cards like Red Eyes Dark Dragoon and the Azamina package as well. So I wanted to show off a couple of games as well as talk about the thought processes during those games and what the potential of the deck can do. I guess as well as like highlights of the deck from matches that I have enjoyed with the deck. And if you like this kind of video, if you like this style of video, we're going to try something new a little bit. So if you do enjoy this video, let me know down in the comments below if you want to see something more like this, especially with like White Forest and Master Duel as well, talking about the thought process and just reviewing some replays of the games as well. And while you're there, remember to like, subscribe, and all that good YouTube stuff. So let's get into the deck list. So here's the list. And more or less, this is how I'm planning to build the deck when I'm able to get the support for the TCG. Because this is Master Duel and because we have cards legal like Maxi and cards limited like Wanted, Seeker, and the Simple Spoils, the ratios are going to be a little different. Also, it's a best of one format, so we are kind of playing a little bit more hand traps since we don't have a side deck to side into games 2 and 3. So real fast to get into it, there are 9 one-card starters in the TCG version of this deck, with Diabell Star, the Black Witch, Wanted, Seeker, and the Simple Spoils, and Ready Fusion. All are one-card starters. I know there are different ways of building the Dark Magician deck. I know if you want to go more like combo heavy, you can also include the Shining Sarcophagus stuff, but we decided not to include that so I can keep the deck a little bit more low to the ground and doesn't lose to a whole lot of hand traps. We are on 2 Magician Souls over the Rod. Rod unfortunately does not get us to combo by itself, but Magician Souls plus a spell can get us to combo by sending Dark Magician Girl and then special summoning Dark Magician Girl from the graveyard. And if we activate a spell, we can then turn the Dark Magician Girl into a Dark Magician of Destruction. Diabell Star, the Black Witch, and Ready Fusion, and Wanted, for that matter, are all one-card starters because Diabell Star, the Black Witch, special summons itself, sets the Deception. You can activate the Deception to meet the effect of the Dark Magician of Destruction. And then Ready Fusion, pay 1,000 life points, special summon 1 level 6 or lower non-effect fusion monster from your extra deck, but it cannot attack. Also destroyed at the end phase. So this becomes a one-card starter as we get to summon our Sandwich, a level 6 Dark Spellcaster. And since we're using a spell to summon the Sandwich, we can immediately just banish the Sandwich to bring out the Dark Magician of Destruction. This deck has a lot of interesting interactions and ways that you can layer and protect your own interruption for your opponent's turn. And I'm going to be showing off some of those different ways in some of these replays. Okay, so for this first replay that I wanted to show off, I normally don't like doing videos like this where you just kind of show off the full combo uninterrupted, but since this deck is brand new, I did want to show this particular replay off where you get to open both of your engine. So we'll start off with the Diabell Star to check for hand traps. Since we want to keep the Diabell Star around, we'll summon the Sandwich and tribute it off with the Deception and summon that Azamina Yugioh. Yugioh is going to add us that Simple Spoils Morian, so now we have 2 Simple Spoils and a form of interruption. Now we can banish that Diabell Star, go Demod to add us Magician Souls. Because we've already used a Ready Fusion, this other Ready Fusion is dead in hand, and since they don't have any interaction, we can send this Triple Tactics Talent if we wanted to as well. But before we do that, we're going to summon that Illa Sylvia, so now we are protected by an Omni Negate. We will send that Dark Magician Girl, and now we'll send those 2 spells to draw 2 more. Unfortunately, drew into the 3rd copy of Ready Fusion, but with a Dark Magician Girl and a Demod in the grave, we now get to draw 2 off of our Soul Servant. So Soul Servant is just basically a Pot of Greed, where we get to select our first card. And we'll just use Magician's Rod to add our Gaze of Timaeus back to our hand. And since we have these extra 2 bodies as well, we can just go ahead and make the SP Little Knight for another form of interaction. Now, this IP Masquerena may not look like much, but since we can activate this Gaze of Timaeus and target this D-mod in the graveyard, we have an interesting interaction here where we get to make our Dragoon for our Omni Negate. Now we have the Dominus Impulse set for another special summon. We have the Morion set to book a special summon monster. But if we ever use Red Eye's Dark Dragoon to negate and destroy, we can actually link it off with this IP Masquerena, and we're going to show it off here actually by popping this Wedju Temple to keep them off of going Snake Eyes Doomed Dragon. They do normal summon Fairy Tale Snow here. This kind of odd into a Moon Closed Heaven, so they are going into the Fiendsmith's combo. So we will go IP Masquerena here into our Celine, since we do have the impulse here to check the Lacrima. Oh, sorry, to check the Fiendsmith and Requiem. And now, since we have so many spells and traps in the, spells in the graveyard for the Celine, we can spend 3 of our spell tokens to get back that Dark Dragoon. And now Dark Dragoon is reset since his effect is not a hard once per turn. So we do have another Omni Negate to go for this Mitsurugi Prayers. We will send the Dia Bellstar, the Black Witch here. And then because it was sent during our opponent's turn, we now get to send that Azamina Illa Sylvia and set that Deception of the Sinful Spoils. They'll go battle phase, attack over our Dragoon. Don't really care about that because we can just bring it right back with our Celine. We drew an Ash Blossom for the turn, and now we have the daggers that we sent at the very start of our combo going turn 1 to just immediately res the Azamina Illa Sylvia back. We can go Celine. Now I did forget that Celine special summons strictly in defense, so we are just going to go into Access Code Talker. It was probably a better play to book the Sync Engine, but at this point it doesn't matter. We just killed them with Access Code Talker and in the game. So for this next game, I wanted to show off what we can do when we don't hit all of our engine, and we do have to play low to the ground because of a card like Mulcharmy Perulia, where we don't want to have our opponent draw a ton of cards. Now, unfortunately, since most of our cards like a Magician's Souls or Dia Bellstar or Rod, all normal or special summon from hand, we do play into Perulia a little bit. We could give them at least 2 or 3 draws if we wanted to go into full Dark Magician engine here. Instead, we just decide to stay low to the ground, make our different forms of interaction. Our Dia Bellstar, since we already opened up the Deception, can just set that Morion. And now since we control an illusion monster, we can reset the Morion. We did draw into a Debtors, so that is a card that we can pitch off of this Dragoon. We'll add the Gaze. We'll reset the Morion. And now we have a Maxi, an Ash Blossom, and a Dragoon plus Illa Sylvia to interrupt our opponent. So we have 2 Omni Negates, an Ash Blossom, a Book of Moon, and a Maxi just to draw into more engine. Now this game gets a little silly really fast as we go to activate our Maxi. They go Ash Blossom here. We probably should have just Dragooned it, to be honest, but I wanted to keep the Dragoon pop around as much as possible. And I wasn't expecting them to open the one of Called By, obviously. They always have it. So we'll go Dragoon. We'll use all of our Omnis here. We'll resolve this Maxi because worst situation. They can't out this Dragoon. They can't target it. They can't destroy it. I think the only card that they have to out this is the is maybe like an Underworld Goddess or the Evil Twins non-targeting Sin. So as long as we keep them off of the Twins and the special summon effect to tribute the Sunny Snitch to special summon the 2 twins, we should be fine. So they're going into Fiendsmith combo here. They've already normal summoned, so we're not afraid of them like normal summoning a Lacrima or an Engraver or anything like that. So we'll just Ash the Requiem here. And this whole time, as they're continuing to combo, we're drawing into more and more engine. We're drawing into infinite follow-up. That is the one downside of the Live Twin deck, is they really just have no plays into a Mulcharmy or into a Joel and Lockbird. Now we finally draw into our Dominus Impulse, so we will Joel them, and this will permanently keep them off of Fiendsmith Engine if they happen to draw into a Tract or anything like that. They will finally go into this Evil Twins Trouble Sunny, and this was the card we were waiting for the most. We will Dominus Impulse that so they can't get their 2 twins back. And they can't activate the Send now because they don't have any twins on the field. So all they can do is end on an Unchain in 1 set card. And again, we have infinite follow-up now with Ready Fusion to go into a D-Mod, Diabell Star to go into a D-Mod, Soul Servant to draw us 2 more cards, and a Magician Souls to hit the engine as well. So we were absolutely winning that game. And for the last game, I wanted to show off a little bit of a grindier game, and in going second. At this point, I don't really know what my opponent's on until they go Anubis. It's some kind of like rank 3 spam. I don't know what the point of the Terra Top is, to be honest, with the Man in the Mark stuff. It kind of took me by surprise, but we have this Dominus Impulse, which lines up very nicely with this continuous trap. Because as long as we stop the special summon of this continuous trap, then they can't go into chaining their negate traps. So we drew Moltari Fulos, kind of a dead card, but we can send it with the Diabell Star. They'll immediately activate that Apophis to set their negate trap. And now they have no more trap monsters to trigger their Statue of Anguish pattern as well. So we will go Diabell Star the Black Witch, Deception, tribute the extra Diabell Star in our hand, add us a Hallowed Azamina. Now I do get a little greedy here, I'll be honest. I do become a greedy little goblin. I go for Muracili, I'll go first to add us that Morium. And here I probably should have linked off both of these into an SP before going any further, or an IP, because as you can see, we're still extending, expecting them not to have anything. Nibiru is not real, obviously. We get to draw into a couple of cards since we sent that Dark Magician Girl from the deck to the graveyard. Now we finally link off into an Miasma Necromancer to add back to that Dark Magician Girl. And here comes the Nib. So I honestly was not expecting Nib. Nib is awful in this format with K9 Vanquish Soul running around and people just making Ripper and passing. But we add back the Diabell Star the Black Witch for follow-up instead of the Dark Magician Girl. We go Hollowed, we learn our lesson, send that Morian to make the Illa Sylvia. And we reset the Morian, so now we have a Book of Eclipse. We'll go Gaze, since we have 2 Gazes in our hand now, and we have the Dark Magician Girl in the graveyard on top of the D-Mod in the grave. And we'll make the Timaeus United Magical Dragon. This card is actually a bit of a powerhouse. It is a towers until the end of your next turn. And then during your opponent's turn, it also pops a spell and trap. So now with that D-Mod, we will activate Gaze again. I should have did this in the draw phase, but now we have the Dragoon. They special have the Terra Top. We knew about the Takatomborg, so we will just book one of their 3s to keep them off of any kind of Xyz plays. They'll activate the field spell to try and set a trap. We'll activate our Dragoon, send our Diabell Star. I tried to send the token here, but I forgot the token actually doesn't go to the grave, so you can't summon back the Diabell Star. So we don't get the Diabell Star. They activated Anubis. We have an Omni Negate left for the Anubis. We should have sent it the Deception that was set, but at that point we were so far ahead, especially with another Dominus set as well that they didn't know about. We were absolutely fine and just dominating that game from there with infinite follow-up the next turn. So that is the deck. I hope you enjoyed this brief little coverage of the new Dark Magician support. It's definitely a deck I'm looking forward to trying in the TCG this week with the release of Maze of Muertos. When I can get a hold of the cards, I will definitely have an update in the TCG for this version of this deck. If you like this deck, or if you're interested in trying the Dark Magician, if you're going to be trying to build the new Dark Magician stuff, the release of Maze of Muertos, let me know down in the comments below, or if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you want to see more of the Dark Magician deck, let me know as well. And if you appreciate this new style video, like I said, I wanted to try something new, especially since I don't have the cards in hand at the moment. I wanted to try a new kind of video. If you like this video format, if you want to see it with other decks like White Forest that kind of explains thought processes and moves and decisions behind moves, then let me know down in the comments below if you want to see more videos like this in the future. And while you're there, remember to like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And as always, catters, I hope you enjoyed the video, and good night.